me. Wishing all the best for me. I'm kinda thinking it's a test for me, rest for me. Maybe we can meet up, get a drink about it. Or maybe you just wanna fuck, I think about it. I gotta admit, I'm missing you a bit. I'm not sure how I feel, but maybe we could chill for a while. Got a show late tonight, I'll see you about 9. But you won't tell no one you go. You don't want them to know. You still love me. Do you still love me? You won't tell no one you care, but you'll be there. Do you still love me? You still love me? I just wanna talk. Sometimes I find myself just wanting to talk with you, but that ain't cool. I just wanna talk. Sometimes I find myself just wanting to talk with you, but that ain't cool. I keep my shit on public till you figure out you missed what you fucked with. So you see that I'm good on my own shit. Yeah, you know I'm good by myself, bitch. You keep your pics set to private. You ain't shit, and that's why you're hiding. Might be a 10, look how messed up your mind is. Your lucky Instagram can't get inside it. I kissed you, I miss you, but move on, I wish you would. The past it was good. The fact is, you still love me. I kissed you, I miss you, but move on, I wish you would. The past it was good. The fact is, you won't tell no one you won't tell. You don't want them to know you still love me. Do you still love me? You won't tell no one you can't tell. No, you'll be there. Okay, you still love me.
You are tuning into The Scoop on TBS EFM 101.3. I'm your DJ Hannah Kim. Joining us in the studio is a beloved retro K-pop star of the 90s who recently made a big comeback. Please welcome Mr. 양준일. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 너무 반갑습니다. 너무 반갑습니다. Thank you for inviting me to The Scoop. All your scoopers.
Yes.
And my Jennies, my queens and kings. Welcome to the show. Hopefully we'll have a great time together.
Wow, it's so great to have you on the show. We've been wanting you to come on the show since Sugarman and your fan club. They always reach out to us through texts and phone calls. Thank you guys so much, Jennies, for joining us.
Yes.
How have you been? Please tell us how you've been.
I've been living my youth dream and beyond,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Just being able to share my stories and my experiences and pain. And when you share it, it becomes like good news. You know what I mean? And so I've been enjoying every single day. I always wanted to spend my life in Korea, and when I had to leave, it was like I try not to look back because I was like, I'm never gonna be able to come back. But since I've been back, I really been just like grateful for each and every single day that I wake up and say, hey, I'm in Korea. Yeah, just that in itself is just a huge blessing, right?
Wow.
And then I get to attend these great shows like The Scoop,
Oh,
right?
thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I think a lot of your fans are actually curious, but how are your vocal cords these days?
Oh yeah, my vocal cords, as you can see, it's gotten much better. It's not 100% yet, but I'm still trying. Actually, I'm just waiting because it takes time for my nerves to reconnect thoroughly,
goodness,
right?
yeah.
And so I still feel like I went to the dentist. Like this is hard to feel, but my vocal cords are coming back a lot more. They're becoming more responsive. Before it would just crack constantly.
Yeah.
So now when I try to pay attention to it, then it usually maintains itself. But when I don't think about it, it'll start cracking.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
no,
Yeah,
no.
so.
Your voice sounds great. Your voice sounds great. A reminder that we are on viewable radio today. 보이는 라디오 켰습니다, 여러분. 유튜브에서 TBS EFM 검색하시면 시청하실 수 있어요.
네.
We have some messages rolling in. We call our new listeners, 새싹님들. 8780 says, The Scoop, 안녕하세요. 드디어 준일 오빠를 볼 수 있다니 저녁이고 뭐고 모두 미루고 방송 들어요. OMG, I can finally see 준일 오빠 on The Scoop. No dinner preparation today. I'm tuning in. 9642 says, would you like to read this?
9642. 오케이. 우주 끝까지 사랑합니다. 영원히 제니랑 손잡고 가요. Of course. 코로나가 잠잠해지면 팬들과 가장 하고 싶은 것은 무엇일까요? We Jenny love you until the end of time. When COVID-19 is over, what is the first thing you want to do with your fans? Of course, I want to meet them in person.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
정말 직접 만나서 그냥 대화하고
네.
노래도 하고 이야기하고 그것이 정말 저의 그냥 데일리 꿈?
네. 그러면요.
네.
You actually recently made a successful comeback with your album Day by Day after 2 decades. Can you introduce this title track for us?
Yeah, sure. It's called Let's Dance. The title sounds like I just want to party if you're not really familiar with the situation. For example, in my second album, I was like, Dance with me, Agashi, which was, hey, let's just dance.
Yeah.
But this time around, when I say let's dance, I'm like saying, hey, you know what? With all this going on, and it seems like it's a difficult time, and it seems like a party pooper, yet we still have each other, right? And we still have time. And so let's enjoy this time together. The togetherness I meant by, hey, let's dance.
Oh, awesome. This is actually the English version of it. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a listen to this song, and we will see you back in part 2 of the show. 2부에서 인터뷰는 계속 진행됩니다. Here it is, 양준일 singing Let's Dance.
So long, not knowing 1, 2, 3. It's time. I'm running and burning you and me. Without prejudice. All black and white, you're the only one in red. From head to toe, I'm crawling up and down.
TBS EFM.
Seoul has several spots rich with historical and cultural significance. We hope to introduce a selection of them throughout this year. The 5th edition of our tour around Seoul is the Jongmyo Shrine. a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The shrine is located in the Jongno district of Seoul. Built in 1395 under the orders of King Taejo, the shrine was the primary place of worship for kings and their queens throughout the Joseon dynasty. Naturally, it became the site for the Royal Memorial Service, a national event known as the Jongmyo-je리. Korea designated the ritual's traditional music called Jongmyo-jereak as its first national intangible cultural asset in 1964. It features instruments, songs, and dances from over 500 years ago. Historically held in the first month of a new season and the 12th month of a lunar year, it was halted during the Japanese colonial period and is now annually reenacted on the first Sunday of May. Tours are normally available in English, Japanese, and Chinese, and cover the several buildings that make up the beautiful shrine. Get a taste of Korea's history in Jongmyo. If you felt like you were missing out on exploring Seoul due to the pandemic, we hope this audio tour brought Seoul closer to home.
Bringing Korea to you, TBS,
Struggling to bring Korean gifts to your country? Just shop at Gmarket Global. No need to go to Myeongdong or Dongdaemun anymore. Plus, with our application, your shopping can be much easier. Download Gmarket Global application and experience smart international shopping right now.
렉서스 플래그십 하이브리드 뉴 LS 멀티스테이지 하이브리드의 혁신 뉴 LS를 법인 전용 LS 오토케어 리스로 경험하세요. 프리미엄 차량 관리부터 맞춤형 패키지까지 3월 16일부터 6월 30일까지 출고 고객에 한해 1회차 이용료 지원. 지금 렉서스 전 시장을 방문하세요.
이수영입니다. 대한민국 정통 K픽업 더 뉴 렉스턴 스포츠가 새롭게 탄생했습니다. 더욱 터프해진 디자인, 어떤 모험도 담을 수 있는 넓은 데크까지 더 뉴 렉스턴 스포츠가 대한민국 픽업의 새로운 역사를 씁니다. 리얼 K픽업 더 뉴 렉스턴 스포츠 쌍용 자동차 전시장에서.
은빈이의 제로 레시피는 지글지글 통삼겹구이에 깔끔하게 칠성사이다 제로.
송강의 제로 레시피는 신선한 샐러드에 가벼운 칠성사이다 제로.
어떤 음식에도 깔끔하게.
맛은 배로,
칼로리는 제로. 세상 맛있는 칠성사이다 제로.
You are tuning into part 2 of The Scoop, and joining us in the studio is popular 90s singer Yang Jun-il. Hello!
Hello, hello.
Once again, hello. Wow, there's so many people tuning into our viewable radio right now. 보이는 라디오 많은 분들이 들어오시고 있어요. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
We actually have a lot of people texting us right now. Why don't we go through some of these messages?
Okay.
지오 좋아, or 양준일 좋아 says, 요즘 운전하면서 즐겨 듣는 노래 알려주세요. What song do you listen to while you drive?
Oldies, songs that I grew up on, right? Let's see, some of the songs I listen to. Okay, Bon Jovi.
It's my life.
Yeah, it's my life. Or and what else is there? I used to listen to a lot of Bee Gees when I first came back, right? Yeah. I also like Aerosmith's I Don't Wanna Miss a Thing. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
Good
right?
taste in music.
Well, thank you.
V1 Pabo says, 요즘 오빠의 고민거리는 뭘까요? What's your concern these days?
I think probably the same as everybody else's. Just trying to get through the Corona season. Hoping that none of our Scooper fans and my Jennies catch it, right? And especially ready for my son hopefully, just we'll be able to get through this together. And
Sure.
yeah, so those are my biggest concerns.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Junilabus says 요즘 제일 관심 가는 패션 아이템이 있을까요? What fashion item are you into the most these days?
My fashion item, let's see, I would have to say simplicity. Just wearing something as simple as possible and being able to pull it off like I paid attention at the same time.
Yeah. you dress like very simply, but then somehow people think you're a fashionista.
Yeah. So hey, he gave some to that thought to that sweat top. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I totally understand.
Yeah.
You didn't try at all, but it looks like you tried.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you gotta seem like you're not trying, yet you are trying, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell says 스케줄 없는 날에 준일님의 하루하루 어떤 모습인가요? 요즘도 7시에 일어나시나요? Tell us about your daily routine. When you don't have schedule, do you wake up at 7 a.m.? Now, this was kind of a lyrics reference too, right? Day by day.
Right.
Oh, you were singing it for us a little bit earlier before the song break, but yes.
Yeah. So because my boy has to go to kindergarten, so we are up and we send him away, and then I start missing him.
Oh.
Yeah. And so the highlight of my day is when I go pick him up. Right, from kindergarten, and I just love to watch him like come down the stairs with the teacher,
yeah.
and I just like, I just like,
Give him a hug.
yeah, give him a hug, and that's the highlight of my day. And then on the way home, he's like, he wants to go to a toy store every single day.
Does he go to a toy store every day?
No, he does not, but he tries me.
Yeah, he tries
yeah,
to.
Yeah. So that's the highlight of my day when I don't have a schedule.
Oh,
Right.
did you do anything special for Children's Day?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I took him we went swimming
Oh.
together, yeah, and I love taking him swimming because he holds on to me like
Oh.
like a lifeboat, right?
Well, that's what our parents are.
Yeah,
Our lifeboats.
right?
Yeah.
And so when he's holding on to me like that, it makes me feel like a dad, and so that's what I love, right?
Well, let's talk about this newly released album, Day by Day. First album in 2 decades.
Yeah.
Goodness. What was it like working on new material?
Wow. Working on new material, I was very I wasn't sure if I was able to write new material, and when I was making my last one, which was the V2 album, there was sense of desperation. Like there was very limited money, so I had to finish the album by a certain date.
Yeah.
And so it was like I would go home and I would just try to write the lyrics so desperately. Like I had to write it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what
you
I
were
mean?
in a hurry and a
yeah,
rush.
I was in a rush, and I was very and it came out right. But then this time around, I had a lot more time on my hands, and I wanted to express more clearly what I was thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
And it actually flowed better than I expected.
Right.
Right. I think maybe because I hadn't written anything, I had a lot more to say. Right.
In 20 years.
Yeah, right. And things that I had experienced in my life helped me to express much deeper than I thought I was able to, right? And so, like, for example, the Let's Dance, it was like the English version and there's a Korean version, right? And the two combined talks about what I'm feeling, right? But it was difficult to capture both of that into one language.
Yes.
So when I was able to do both songs, it kind of they complemented each other.
Yeah.
Right? And so that helped me a lot. And I was surprised that the depth and the flow of the words. And the best part of it is that that my fans liked it.
Yeah.
Right? My Jennies loved it, and that makes all the difference.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it a little different? I'm sure like your fans, 20 years ago they were there for you. 20 years later they're still here for you. Was it different?
Oh, absolutely. Because on my V2 album, the song went to, I think, number 2 on the internet pop
Right,
chart,
yes.
right? But nobody knew who sang it, right? And so the song was coming out on TV, on the streets, and stuff like that, especially like home shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was when in year 2000, like handphone was hot,
Yeah.
right? Everybody was selling handphones and stuff like that, and they would use my music, but nobody knew who sang the song, and I was like, oh my god, this is. And it kept going up in the charts and then it started going down and down and down. Like, oh my god, nobody's gonna know it was me,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and so that was very difficult.
Sure, yeah.
But this time around, my Jenny님들이
네.
they are actually 나의 소속사. right. So they protect me. They promote me. I
that's
mean, really,
awesome.
yeah. And so it's a complete different ball game, should I say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so just I'm like so grateful to them.
Yeah,
right?
shout out to all the Jennies out there right now. We have
Really?
hundreds, about 900 Jennies tuning
Wow.
in right now. Thank you guys so much. 너무 감사합니다,
네.
Jenny님들.
Jenny, your gump is here. I love you so much.
So I understand you actually wrote all of the songs on your album day by day.
Yeah.
What is your biggest inspiration when you write your music?
I would have to say my past experience would definitely play a huge role, and what I want to sing about and talk about, I try to write into my songs, and my Jennies, they are my Jenny because even though we live separate lives, I think the things that we experienced are very similar.
Of course.
Right.
We're all human.
Right. Yeah. And so I think just the fact that like when I say 2-4, my Jenny says 6-8. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
communication is always there, right? And so I'll say one thing and then they'll complete me, right?
Yeah.
And so that, my producer,
Right.
Val Gaina, he's been a rock star all of his life,
Sure.
like since he was like 18 or 17, right? And so he's had a fan base and he's, seen all the fans his entire life. And he tells me he's never seen my fans or the type of fans that I have.
The loyal fans that you have. Yeah.
Right. And the communication that we have, and he's like, the relationship that you have with your fans. It's not a start to fan, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I call them my queens and kings, and now I call them my Jenny, right? And so he's like, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around what's going on with you,
Right.
right? And I'm just like, this is coming from a guy who's had fans all of his life.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my Jenny, you're the best, says Val.
So we actually talked about Let's Dance a little earlier, and there's another song on your album that's in English, and it's Alibis.
Right.
Was there a particular reason why you chose these two songs to be in English?
Actually, when I write my songs, I always start with the English.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say always, but maybe 80% of the time, right?
Just like just thinking about it. Yeah.
And so, when I hear it and there's something I want to express, I'll express it in English first, and then I'll translate it, or I'll try to base my Korean lyrics from that concept.
Yeah.
Right. And so so like when I come up with a song and I try to write it again into Korean, and if I feel like the Korean version captured the essence of it, then I'll just do the Korean version. But if I feel like it needs both versions to deliver the message, right, then I'll do both versions of it, right? Yeah. So, for example, Rock and Roll Again, I wrote both versions, but I felt like the Korean version captured the whole essence of
Yeah,
it.
it's different depending on what language it is. Certain words speak better to you, and then at the
Right.
same time, English has its own merits too, right?
Absolutely,
Definitely.
yeah.
I want to take a listen to this right now. We're
Okay.
gonna take a listen to Alibis, and we'll be right back.
Waving bye bye. 비가 온다면 온도는 바뀌어. Waving bye bye. 바람이 불면 영원 징징거리지. 상처는 아물잖아. 너도 그럴 거면 선택권은 너의 것. 선택한 넌 살인자. 입술에 랩스디 숨겨진 poetry. 가기 전에 이유를 다시 말하고 가. Wait 가기 전에 거짓말이라도 해. 징징거리지 정말. 상처는 아물잖아. 너도 그럴 거면 선택권은 너의 것. 선택한 넌 살인자. 입술에 랩스디 숨겨진 poetry. You keep murmuring something I don't understand. You keep saying it's enough, like you're spreading the truth, but you don't seem to say it with conviction. Your poetry, it has no meaning. Your rhapsody holds no truth. Maybe you're trying to learn this stuff as you're trying to teach it to me. Maybe.
I want to read some of these comments and questions. I want to get to some of them. 토카이윤 says, 이번 가을에 콘서트 하실 건가요? Will you be holding a concert this fall by any chance?
I sure hope so. It's not necessarily up to me. I try to hold it, and yet it keeps getting canceled by the policy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I sure hope that I can, right? We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
5857 or a 새싹 says, would you mind reading
Yeah.
this?
I am curious. What do you think of non-face-to-face on-tech concert? Right? Juniors are always ready anytime. I would definitely like to see the new song on stage. Yeah, I think non-face-to-face on-tech concert is there because we have no choice.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not a fan of these concerts, but yeah.
So what I really like to see is when I go to a concert or something like that. So for example, I heard that when a kid plays with his dog outside for like 15 minutes, their heartbeat matches.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And so I think the great thing about like having a live concert where we're all together in the same space,
Sure.
our heartbeat will match.
You're in sync.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
in sync because of the rhythm,
Yeah.
right? And the music and the beat. And like when that happens, there's something that's undescribable that you experience that you cannot get through watching it through a video,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's why I think, for example, when Korea had the World Cup, was it in 2002?
2002,
right? It was completely different from watching it on TV, or you go to the huge open area and everybody is like, you feel their energy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And when there's a goal, the excitement is completely different versus you watching it at home and going, oh yeah.
Right.
Versus everybody's there like,
Maybe that's why we did so well in
Yeah.
2002.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone's heart was in one place.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, so like, I heard for the World Cup, like, there were people who were not watching the game. There were people that were there, pa, 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 just
Yeah.
giving that beat.
The
to
energy.
the energy to the players, right? And they weren't even watching. They were just looking into the audience saying, all right, we got to get this on beat. Everybody together. You know what I mean? and that drove
Yeah.
that home court advantage, right? And so that's what I wish,
Yeah.
I could feel, with my, queens and kings.
그게 콘서트죠. 그게
그렇죠.
콘서트죠.
예,
예.
right? So, when you're in just that groove together, then like little things don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, did I miss a beat or did I say the wrong word or whatnot? None of those things matter, right? Because
Sure.
that energy going through them and back to me and through them, it's kind of magical,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
As an artist, right? I know every song holds a dear place in your heart. That you have a memory with each and every one of your songs. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I would have to say from this album, it would have to be Haru Haru.
Haru Haru.
Yeah. Day by day, I think it's something that I struggled with the longest and it stays with me. It's just like a part of me now. And I think it's part of everybody else too,
Yeah.
right? So just having to get up in the morning and then, because we all need, for example, if I say, Hannah, meet me in front of, this place 7 in the morning somewhere,
Yeah.
you'll be like, why? You know what I mean? So we all need a why in our lives, right? And when you try to get up in the morning, you try to do things and do this and do this, and you really don't feel why you got to do this, you lose your way or you lose your strength, right? And so it's very difficult to maintain that energy or your presence in the location that you're in without knowing why, right? And the song talks about that struggle, and yet, so why is it that I'm up? Why is it that I'm going to work? And it's because of that relationship, because of the love, because of the ones you care for. And if you forget that, you're like, I just want to stop. But then when you think back, it's, oh my God, that's right. My baby's waiting for me, right?
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, I could get through this for him or for her. You know what I mean? And you just you step into it, right? And that's why day by day, right? Haru haru, and we gotta face this every single day.
You know what someone told me? I wanted to share this with you. Was that someone says, 물론 뭐 양준일님은 너무 아티스트로서 너무 훌륭하시고 노래도 훌륭하시고 춤도 훌륭하시고 모든 게 다 훌륭하시는데 생각하는 마인드도 너무 훌륭하시다고 저한테 한 분이 얘기를 하셨는데요. After I heard that, I wanted to share that with you.
Oh, well, thank
the
you
way
so
you
much.
think and the philosophy of life changes the way you perform on stage and the way you present yourself with genuine heart to others too. And like when I heard that, I was like, you're so right. He does do that. He does do that. And I wanted to share that with you. And we are getting closer to the end of the interview already. I'm just wondering, do you have any future plans?
My future plans, I think it's always the same. I wanna like just be connected with my queens and kings, right? And and I think it's happening even though with the corona situation,
Yeah.
right? Through these radio shows, through the songs, through things like this, and I try to read as much comments as possible on my channels or whatnot, right? And I definitely get what they're telling me, and they teach me a lot, right? And my Jennies keep me straight, is what I think. You know what I mean? They check me, right? And so just like my family checks me, my Jenny checks me, right? And it's very easy to lose our way when we try to go on our own, I think, right? And so the things that I say here, right? It reminds me again, you know what? That's right. I'm not just talking to somebody. I'm talking to myself, right? So it's very like I always say, like when you don't have a choice, then you really don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But when you have a choice and you still choose that, which is fragile, which is breakable yet most important, right? Then that's where you belong and that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Right. And so I always, I'm really glad that I still want my Jenny and my Jenny still wants me. I still want to hold my baby and I still want to hold my wife, right? And this is like the most important thing is as soon as I lose that,
Yeah.
I know that I will also lose my Jenny. I will not only lose my Jenny, I will lose myself, right? And then that means I gotta learn it again. Which I do not want to do, right?
Mr. Yang Junior, thank you so much for joining us today. As we send you out of the studio, we're going to take a listen to some rock and roll again.
Okay.
Do you have a final word for your fans out there?
Oh yeah. 제니 오늘 너무나도 재밌었으면 좋겠었어요. I had a great time. I can't believe the time is already up. Jenny, I love you so much. You are my desire always. I thank you. I love you. See you soon.
And thank you so much for joining us today. Scoopers, we'll see you back at 7 p.m. 아쉽지만 안녕히 가세요.
안녕히 계세요.
감사합니다.
Scoopers 너무 감사합니다.
Rock and roll, but then it sucked up. When I was 9 years old, don't in the mood in gym.